As Virginia Woolf once wrote about judging a book, about reading a book, she said, you should always judge a book by the best of its kind. So whether I was tasting tequila or gin or bourbon or Canadian whiskey, which were among the spirits that I was trying, then I had just sort of almost a platonic image of, how is this one going to measure up against some of the best that I've ever tasted?
And, one of the tricks that us judges like to do as well, after we've been tasting spirits for a while in one sitting, because we don't wear perfumes, we make sure to not drink coffee before, or really have any foods that are really pungent or that would stay with us. But if your nose feels like it's getting a little bit tired, there is something that you can do. And this may sound kind of funny if you're following along with me at home, but you want to definitely give your sleeve a smell, smell into something that's fresh. I don't have any fabric detergent on my shirt today on purpose.
I really believe that with a professional tester, you do also have a responsibility to really share your feedback based on the experience that you had throughout the years, coming across multiple samples. But at the same time, there is a lot of labor, there is a lot of work behind each of these distillates, and we want to make sure that the distiller and everybody involved in the production and they get the fair chance to be evaluated professionally.
I like to imagine not just my own personal proclivities, but also keep in context of the category, of the things that are happening in the category, how consumers might respond, and sometimes I also think about how my colleagues in the tasting competition might respond as well.
If something from that first just quick taste pops immediately, like almost if there's a really obvious distillation flaw or a really, really prominent note of maybe something artificial or additive or something that just really strikes me, especially maybe it's an extremely high ester level or something like that, then I'll make note of it.
Anything that's interesting that starts one way and ends a different way and then just kind of can almost keep going, that's so intriguing to me in a whiskey or anything like that.
This is a great example so far of what I believe should be a good example of an eau de vie. On the nose, very floral. You absolutely get the fruit base. That's very, very important that comes through. Sometimes if we tend to over distill things to make them smoother, we lose a little bit of that aromatic and therefore later on like flavor profile, which is what I'm trying to get.
Oh yeah, I feel like even more flavor like protrudes, like it's like a beautiful surprise, like blossom, like a flower blooming.
I like the viscosity of a bourbon when it's almost chewy. Those baking spices are really resting now on the tongue. But I also have to say that what's coming through are some chocolate notes now. The great complexity of a single barrel is when you can go kind of layer by layer.
The fact that, it is 45%, so for a 90 proof, it kind of hits just about right on the tongue. The astringency is there without being overpowering, but it's very smooth. And I really, really think this is a lovely spirit.
There's some really beautiful rums here that give me a feeling of the Caribbean. I'm getting that salt, I'm getting that sea vibe.
I'm definitely looking to taste and smell that special finish in it and see how that comes through. Also looking for just, clean. We want to get some of the quintessential bourbon notes, but I love a whiskey that like steers a bit away from the traditional flavors that you're going to get, just because it sets itself apart from what you'd be able to get just off of any shelf.
So I've never been accused of being a fast taster. I'll openly admit that, and so will my colleagues, I think. But I am very thorough, and we get paid to do a specific job, and it's to obviously analyze the best we can every single spirit, to obviously pick out the good points, the good notes, and obviously the bad ones as well, whether it's an issue with the fermentation, to the distillation, to the cuts, to the barrels, to the blending,
I think the real treat in tasting through so many of these expressions is the curiosity of them. I mean, how many spirits do I taste through on a weekly basis with our tasting panel here at Total Wine and More? The thing is that most of the time when I do that, I know what I'm tasting, and to me, the real curiosity is, what are these whiskeys? Where are they? Can I get them onto our shelves at Total Wine? I think there's so many that I tasted today that if I knew what they were, I would absolutely want to get them onto our shelf, because I think that there's a bourbon drinker out there for them. I think we've got that bourbon drinker and a rye drinker. So the mystery for me is to find out really who wins, and then how I can get them in the store.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first annual, well, I guess it's the first annual, many more to come, taste off of the American Spirits Council of Tasters. You got a brief look at our judges there. We have James Beard Award winners and like Martin Cate. We have Bourbon Hall of Famers and Peggy Noe Stevens. We have the most important spirits buyer in the world, and Michael Lowry from Total Wine and Spirits. We take this very seriously. This competition is all about, really diving in and showing you all how professional tasters taste, but it's also meant to award the best of the best. Now, this is a competition where people pay to enter, so they enter the competition, but we do not give everybody a medal. This is a competition that only awards what we consider to be the best. And our process begins in the individual judging round. And throughout the year, you will see videos from my team coming out and showing you individual judges through the tasting process. Today, what you are going to see is the finals and the best in show. Now, prior to this, the individual judges scored each one of the spirits that they tasted. And those scores were then broken up in percentages, and the highest percentages got the double platinum. So this is a double platinum trophy, and we will also have like a best in show trophy that will be awarded after the completion of this. Now, this is a long video. This is coming through as a live stream. So if you are coming into this later, after it's live, we will have breakout links in the description and in the YouTube channel, so you don't have to labor through the whole thing. But if you're watching it live, you will be rewarded, because you're going to know before anybody else what won. So how this process works, we tally up the scores and we break it up into percentages. The highest percentage gets double platinum. The next level gets platinum, and the level after that gets gold. The rest of them do not get a medal. Now, they may get an honorable mention. They may be something that I buy. They may be something that I have even considered to be a great everyday pour or something like that. And they may have won other competitions. But here, they got honorable mention, and that is something to be proud of if they receive it. But the ones that go on to this round are the best of the best. So this would be like the top 5% of our competition. And we are here to figure out best in show. The very first segment that you will see is going to be the initial whiskey round. So this is going to be determining, best wheated bourbon, best small batch between 6 and 10 years old, best single malt, things like that. It's also going to determine best white spirit in the show, best brandy in the show, and best liqueur in the show. So you'll see best in show in some categories that are outside of whiskey. And then after that, because we've had so many whiskeys entered into this competition, we have a separate taste-off for the whiskeys to determine best bourbon and best in show in whiskey. So if you are watching this and you're wanting to see this live, you want to see the best bourbon, and you have to go pick up the kids or whatever, you're going to have some time. But I'm telling you, you're not going to want to miss this, because you're going to get an inside peek to some bourbons and some other whiskeys in this first round here that you probably never heard of. I know that I didn't know of one of these brands, and I've been covering the whiskey circuit for 15 years, and I try to like familiarize myself with everything. There's a brand in here that I didn't know anything about, or I'd say much about, and it did quite well in the competition. Now, these judges that are here, these are our finalist judges. In all, we had more than 25 judges, but due to scheduling, due to the amounts of product, we were not able to have everybody from the competition in the finals round. So we don't have everybody here, and we had some absentee ballots, but you are indeed going to see the competition as it is judged. This is recorded, and it has been edited, and a big shout out to my editor, Jason Ladiad. He created this. He did a really great job with the edit with the short amount of time that he had. So a big shout out to Jason. You did a great job. I really appreciate it. And, I'm going to be in the chat throughout the evening. So if you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. You will also find in the description, you will find link outs to the finalists. So if you're curious as to what something is or what the next, how somebody did, you will find the links inside my description. We have already announced who won gold and platinum and double platinum, and not everybody from double platinum made it to this level. So this is the elite of the elite. So that is kind of where we are. And, without further ado, we got a lot of tasting to watch. I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in it. I appreciate you all for tuning in. And believe me, I am ecstatic for you to see the winners. And more importantly, I can't wait to sip a little bit more. Enjoy, everybody. Whiskey tasters, prepare your glasses for 100A-2 and 100A-4. All you are going to do is go through your process of smelling, tasting, and then when you all are completed, I'm going to ask you to vote and tell me why you're voting for that particular one. Doesn't have to be long and drawn out. It could just be like, I really love the finish on this. I think this is an outstanding wheated bourbon. So we are starting with 100A-2 and 100A-4 to determine the best wheated bourbon.
Whew. Forgot my spinner.
I'm ready with my dump bucket, by the way.
Yeah, I forgot mine. I had to run off and get one.
Yes, I brought a dump glass also.
Well, who among us is used to throwing any out? I mean, really.
Well, it is the way. All right, so Susan, have you tasted both of them?
I have. And you know what? I'm going to put the tiniest bit of water in each one of these since they're pretty high proof.
So by putting water in them, does that mean they're pretty equal on their own merit right now?
I thought so, but I think I would probably go with 2, 100A-2.
100A-2. So that's one vote for 100A-2.
Close though.
Okay. All right, Clay, you're up.
Yeah, I did what I fell in the same category as Susan, although let me try 2 for a second. Because I actually was a little partisan toward 4, but I wanted to try it with water. Yeah, I'm going to go with 2 as well. It's very close, and I don't know if you want me to say anything. I mean, I liked the nose on 4 better. I thought it was more robust and just rich, and I didn't get it. Really, just didn't get much as a whole lot of nose off 2. But the palate on 2 is more. It's just more sophisticated. I thought. It sits well. It's not. I thought 4 was a little young and a little rough, but close.
All right. Well, Tiffany, Lou, a previous vote was casted via email for A2 as well. So unless that you two both go to A4, it looks like A2 is going to win the best of wheat bourbon. Tiffany, what's your thoughts?
I'm on board. Clay said it best. It's just how it sits. There's not much nose in 2. 4 is, I thought I would love it, but the finish is just a little aggressive for me. It's hot, and hot's not bad, but it's a little too overpowering, taking away the real profile. So 2 it is.
Lou, any objections?
No, I agree. I mean, I remember when we were doing the original tasting. I mean, quite a few of those. The major part of my review on them was the finish, and that's what decided it for me here. The finish on 4 was just kind of I don't know, like big boots on a wooden floor for me.
All right. Well, congratulations to 100 A2. Make sure you all save a little bit because that will go on to compete for best bourbon. So now we go to the white spirits. The unaged spirits category, always my favorite. Of course, vodka. We're starting with vodka here. That's my absolute favorite category, as everybody knows. All right, so Francesco and D.
Ladies first.
You all are our vodka champions.
To catch up on while she's finishing tasting, I can say that I would go for 211, the wheat.
Okay.
I find both to be a little bit more on the aggressive side for the category per se when you're seeking that type of roundness and neutrality. But yeah, above the 2, I go with the wheat one.
Okay, that one.
Definitely wheat. I agree.
All right, so that one, 211 is your winner. The votes casted prior to this went to 211 as well. So congratulations to 211. Now, whiskey panel, we are now going to 102. All right, Tiffany, I think you went through all your tasting here. I think I saw you go through it all. 102.5, 102.21, 102.24. What's your favorite and why?
102.5, killing it. Sounds like a radio station. The fruit notes at the beginning, beautiful. Nice and mellow, easy peasy. I don't really have to detect too much of just nothing but smoothness. I could actually taste the water that they're using a bit. The others, again, delightful, but for full around palate, nose, finish, 102.5 on the FM dial.
So 102.5 has Tiffany's vote. All right, Susan.
Gee, I hate to go against Tiffany, but I was so taken with the nose on 102.24. Really liked that. And I think it kind of did it for me as I kind of went back. I've been doing a lot of tasting them all again because they're all close. I mean, again, we've got the finalists, so they're all going to be good.
Right.
So that's tough. But I think I'm kind of leaning toward 24.
All right, Lou.
I'm dialing in on 102.5. I like that nose. Like the nose, I like the follow through, and it's. I tried the other two with water because they are whopping whiskeys at those proofs, and still liking the 102.5.
Okay. All right, Clay.
God, I'll tell you what. I'm going to be difficult and go with 102.21.
Do it.
221. All right.
There are,
Splitter.
yeah, but it's very hard. I'm kind of just being difficult here. But it had the best of both worlds to me. I mean, I think they all had good palates and good noses and good finishes, but in terms of palate and what I like, palate and nose, 102.21.
Well, Max Solano agreed with you. He voted for 21 as well. So that means I have to come in as a tiebreaker.
All right.
Ooh.
Love it.
Vice President Minnick.
Are you sporting your Converse tennis shoes there, Fred?
No, I'm the one's made of garbage.
That's what I'm
okay. Wearing. Yeah. All right. So 102. Where are you at? So 20. We're up against it's 24 and 5.
24 and 5?
21 and 5. I mean
21 and
5.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now
Just trying to keep you honest.
Now I have to go get glassware. All right. Here's 102.5. That tastes like Dickel, like a Dickel. 102.5 reminds me of a lot of the Dickel products. 102.21. I'll rinse my mouth out here.
Ouch, I hate Dickel.
Yeah, Dickel's not my fave either.
Not a good friend of mine.
102.21.
Okay.
Oh yeah. 102.21 is where it's at for me. I like this like kind of like back in chili spice to it. As the tiebreaker on this, 102.21 rallies toward the end and wins best small batch from 6 to 10 years old. So congratulations to 102.21. And I will tell you all what these are afterward if you're interested.
Absolutely.
If we can all still stand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can stand.
All right. So now to the next round of gin is going to be 103.15. I'm sorry, 203.15. And hold on here. Yeah, so 203.15, 203.17, and 203.29. Okay, so we have the votes casted from previous judges on this one, and I will tell you, I will tell you all how other people judged after you all have told me. So, Francesco, go ahead and tell me what's your best gin, my friend.
Sample 15, 1-5.
Okay. Why?
It's the one that has the more gin heritage as far as the juniper and a little bit of the camphor aspect and botanical. The second sample 17 is categorized under citrus, but I pick up a lot of cucumber, but to a point that has also too much green and is a little deceiving. I'm expecting more of a citrus notes. Number 29 has a little bit of a potpourri character. There's too much cinnamon or wood notes or even cigar cedar wood, but I pick up a lot of cinnamon that I prefer the clean gin that comes through with also good spirit base on 15.
Okay, D.
I agree with him in the notes, but not in what I prefer. So I think we just have a difference in palate on this one. I actually am kind of leaning towards 29, 203.29.
Okay.
It's funny that you said cucumber for 17. I got a lot of cucumber skin and a lot of dark pepper, also cinnamon, for 203.29. And I got more cinnamon and orange oil on 17. But yeah, I'm voting 29.
Well, congratulations to 29. That had 2 votes prior, and this one did. Let's see. There's one other vote, and it went to 17. So the winner is 29. So 29 is indeed the winner. But this was a close one. 3 votes for 29, 2 votes for 17, and 1 vote for 15. So very close one. But congratulations to Best Gin being 29. 29 is your best gin. And now we go on to whiskeys, back to bourbon here. 104. So 104.13 and 104.14. And unaged spirits tasters, you can go ahead and get ready for the tequila round. Tiffany, I remember talking to you about your passion for the high proof stuff. It seems to me like this the higher proof spirits really shined in this competition. If you take a look at the ABV list, most of them are north of 50 proof or 100 proof.
Yeah, when I was tasting the first round, I remember chatting with a friend saying, man, the high proofs brought it. Like, it was truly my favorite. That's not an easy space to be, I feel. And if you can get that right, I'm like, yeah. Not just because it's lush, but it's good stuff.
That's right. So here we have 104.13 and 104.14. A battle of 104 proof to 108.8 proof. These are single barrels. It should be noted that a single barrel in the other category will have one best single barrel. So this is just to win best single barrel in this area. The reason why it won best single barrel is because the panels that tasted it also tasted these, and it was the highest score in there. So the best single barrel of the competition was King of Kentucky, and the single barrels are not eligible for best bourbon because it's a single barrel, and we don't believe in letting honey barrels win the best bourbon, but they can win best single barrel. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at what our best single barrel is, up to 10 years old. Lou, start with you.
I'm going to go with 14. I found this difficult. I thought they were both really, really, really good. But I just thought 14 had an edge in the nose. I liked that it was a little bit more rounded. I thought the nose on 13 had some sharper edges to it. So 14 it is for me.
Tiffany?
Man, this is close. That is delicious. God, Lou and I are dating. It's 14. Where's Bay?
I heard you on the radio.
I know my partner is for the party.
Clay?
Lou and I are not dating. I'm going with 13. Yeah, believe it or not. I don't know if you knew this. But I'm going with 13. I just also totally very close. I wouldn't throw either of them out, but 13, there's just the palate is there's just a little more nuance, particularly toward the end. I just get some nice rich notes in there. So.
All right, Susan. The there's already a winner based on previous votes, so you can either choose to vote for a winner or
be independent
or vote for a loser.
I'm a winner.
Well, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna owe Clay a drink the next time I see him, because I'm gonna go with him. I like the fruit and the sweet spice on the nose on 13, but I guess we've been outgunned here, Clay. So
Yeah,
there it is.
It happens.
Max Solano would have casted the deciding vote here. So
Okay.
yeah, so the next round one is 106, and that's the murderer's row. So don't do just the 10. So for the next one, prepare for 106.12, 106.23, 106.26, 106.28, 106.29.
Okay.
And now we will go to see who wins best tequila. Which, side note, I've been watching this watching a lot of Netflix's Narcos series recently.
Hello.
And I've really been into this whole Colombian drug cartel stuff lately.
Fred, good for you.
So if whiskey doesn't work out, you're going to go drug cartel.
I mean, if whiskey doesn't work out, I mean, I feel like I have a good business model for the.
You got to have a plan B.
Yeah, we'll fall back there. Yeah, that's good.
Good work.
I'm going to have to learn Spanish, so that's where we'll start.
Learn how to count in Spanish. I think that's all you need.
All right. So I think what was one of the more exciting things for me to observe in this competition was tequila. As competitions go, you basically have what is entered, and we didn't have a lot of tequilas entered, but we had some quality stuff entered. And so this is an exciting one for me to see how you all vote. So go ahead and Francesco, tell us, what is your best tequila?
Actually waiting for Dee as well on this one to see what she.
So for me, it is 222.3, 222.3 the añejo. I get a lot of like light kind of powdery milk chocolate from this and some orange oil, which I love. It almost kind of rings nostalgic for me, for like those milk chocolate balls with the orange oil in it, like that.
Well, I'll tell you right.
A little bit of oak, but obviously not a ton, because you can tell by the color. Didn't spend a lot of time. But
all right, Francesco, you're up.
I think I'm strongly amused by 220-1. It's got the almost Per Williams eau de vie nose, meets a little bit of the pickling and spice minerality, and I'm very amused by that because there's a lot of esters in that one. I also agree with Dee. I enjoyed 3 because it's not over manipulated and just enough oak. So I'm kind of at a toss here. I find number 1, 220-1 de Blanco, to be very distinctive. But I don't know. I go for 220-1 because I just enjoy that pear notes. But the añejo is delicious.
All
it
right.
was between those two for me also.
All right. Well, then that is our winner. 220-1 is your winner. And now what you will do, go ahead and pour 230-1 to compare against 220-1. So basically mezcal versus tequila for best agave.
Got
it. Sí, señor.
And we'll if you all have that bottle readily right now, we'll just go ahead and do that here.
Yeah.
I vote already.
It's delicious.
It's an easy vote for me.
I'm still sticking with the
230
tequila.
1. Easy.
I'm sticking with the tequila because it has more uniqueness. It's
Okay.
very distinctive.
And
I'm going
D,
with the mezcal.
you're going with the mezcal. Okay. Well,
I am.
the best in show for agave is the tequila. We had the votes supporting tequila on this one from the previous votes. So, but the mezcal, tell us, D, what did you like about the mezcal? You sound really passionate about that.
It's just so, and because I'm studying in WSTT right now, I'm supposed to be avoiding the word salinity, but it's the only thing that sounds appropriate outside of, I guess, wet rock or minerality or whatever. But it's just a lot of that characteristic in this that I really enjoy. Yeah, it's grassy a little bit. It's almost like cement after the rain, after like a thunderstorm. Like whatever that smell is, you could probably imagine what, I guess, like a wet rock would taste like after that. I'm not out here licking rocks, but it's what I imagine it would taste like, but it's actually pleasant.
It's called petrichlor.
Yes, petrichor, exactly.
Yeah,
I didn't want to say that
smell.
in case people didn't. I didn't want to go into the.
Yeah, I'm just nuts about it.
Yes, petrichor for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic
like
smell.
The outside of like an oyster shell for me, which I really like.
Right on.
I remember smelling
that's a very pleasant taste.
Belgian lambic that smelled like a freshly split piece of granite. It was just like,
yeah.
I love that.
On the palate, I actually enjoy that. So for me, I lean towards that.
Nice.
I'm into brine and salt and like those type of more mineral based flavors.
Now we will go to the whiskey tasters who are about to go into the biggest flight of the championship round, and that's the barrel finish category. This is a category that's really been blossoming. I am not a fan of bourbon being the lead name on the label, but I think when you look at it from a tasting perspective, there's some really, really great products coming out. And the fact that we have so many here, that this was across the board our highest scores across the board, it says a lot. So whoever wants to go first, go ahead and tell us your pick for special barrel finished bourbon.
I'll jump in here. You're spot on with the special being the word. There's so many things to describe in each of these bottles. Beautiful work. It was. I had to go back and forth. I had a little bit of water. Of course, I love the high proof, but and I love the color. A 106-28 had me just really complex, really fun. It really is the value of the word special barrel. It really hits home for me. But I keep sneaking back to 106-23. And I'm not sure if that's just the aging process and the port. And I'm going to go ahead and give it to 106-28.
106-28 is your vote?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 106-28 is Tiffany's vote. Lou?
I guess I'm gonna go conservative and predictable and all that shit and go with the sherry finish. 106-12. That one did it for me. I'll be honest, the two Aspen finish, I knocked them out pretty quickly. That just didn't do my palate. And then it was down to the other three. And I just kept coming back to, like Tiffany said, I kept coming back to 1-2, but it was a different one. So I'm going with the 12.
We know Lou Bryson loves him some sherry cask.
I do love me some sherry cask. It's true.
Susan, where are you voting?
Okay, well, I'm going to say I am all in with Tiffany on the amazing color in 28. I mean, as soon as I poured them, I looked at this and I thought, wow, that just looks fabulous. And I really liked it, but I think I agree with Lou that I like 12 when it really came down to which one is going to have the advantage, which one's going to be the one. So I'll go with 12. Nice. I'm going to say little fruit. I mean, the nose and the palate matched, and they both had nice complexity to them that I enjoyed. So
outstanding. Clay?
I'm with Tiffany on this. I thought 28 was just really cool. It just, the color was cool. The nose really stood out for me. Not going to knock the rest. They're good. Maybe it's the fact that it's Limousin oak and that's a little different. That kind of caught my eye. But I thought whoever made this did some really cool stuff with it. And, it's not a novelty. I think it tastes really good all the way through. So to me, that was really the standout.
Well, it's 28 sounds like that. It sounds like it could have been a coin flip between 12 and 28 for you all. But unfortunately, this isn't the game of coin flips. This is there could only be one winner, and Max Solano had the deciding vote in advance with 106.12. Should be noted, Max also a sherry fan, but he does not like it when things are over sherried, and I think
I'd agree.
Yeah.
So that looks like
actually I love. I've had over sherried stuff I don't like, but I've also had some sherry bombs that I just luxuriated in. So
that's awesome.
It's one, it's case by case for me.
Case by case, and you went with 28, but that one was that was a close one. Honestly, that was a close one.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought I was going to have to come back in as a tiebreaker, but I'm glad I didn't have to. But again, I think that just the fact that we saw these special barrel finishes do so well here just shows you the growth of that particular category. So next you all have 106B5, and those are special barrel finish rise. 106B5 will be your next category. As we go to the unaged or the white spirits, and as we decide the brandies with Francesco and Dee.
So I'm debating between the American brandy and the Armagnac. I don't pick up, unfortunately, pear as much as I was expecting. The grappa, I think, is aspirational, but it's not there yet. And coming from Italy, I kind of find it to be, just okay and not enough depth. But I would say that the American brandy is quite pleasant, not necessarily probably for sipping alone, but he has a nice bouquet and fruit forward, and it's not heavy on the palate. So, and the Armagnac, is 90 proof, is starting to pick up that roastiness and a little bit of dark fruit and stone fruit. But between the two, I would encourage, in this particular case, the American brandy also to give the American brandy industry the courage to push forward with the industry, because they're doing some good stuff.
Yeah, this is that's good description there. I appreciate it, Francesco. Dee?
Yeah, that's what, 333-2?
Yep.
I agree with that for sure. I get a lot more characters out of this one that I enjoy and want to keep sipping again than I do out of the other three. It would have been between 310-2 and 333-2, but 333-2 definitely wins it for me.
I agree with you, but I like the movement, the brandy, American brandy movement.
Nice. I agree for sure.
So both votes here for American grape brandy. Grappa does not get a single vote. So Armagnac is your best brandy. Best brandy is Armagnac. And so,
right, we try to help the American economy.
We tried, but it's okay.
So D. Francesco, after this, you all have a murderer's row of liqueurs, and then you vote for best in show for white spirit. Okay. So that then after that, you all will be good to go.
I'm gonna go with 6. I find them both a little cloying, to be honest, for me. But I think that 6 in that kind of cloying sweetness had a little bit more kind of nuance than 5. But there you go.
All right. Susan?
I am also looking at 6. I thought the nose was actually better than the palate. The nose was much more rye characteristic. And I think what Clay is talking about with the cloying, a little bit of sweetness in there, it's not what I want in my rye necessarily, but you know, and it's pretty soft when you get to it. And you know, you go to a rye because you want something a little more spicy, a little more assertive, a little, you know, that herbal dill something in there. And so I think of the two, I thought the 5 was a little on the astringent side, even though it had a nice nose. I definitely would prefer 6.
All right. So 6 is the vote has been cast. Tiffany?
I agree. For some reason, as soon as I sipped 106.5, I instantly started to salivate like a whole lot. I don't think I like that. I'm glad Clay said it nicely.
That acidity.
It was just so instantly. And I don't know if I like that. So for that reason, I'm going to 6.
So Lou, this can be a category sweep if you go with 6, or you can be the only vote on 5.
I'll be the only vote on 5. I'm not proud. No, I'm pulling a Jim Murray here. I'm making a statement with my vote because I'm not really nuts about the practice of finishing rye whiskey in port barrels. So I'm basically voting against that. I wasn't really nuts about either of them. I didn't think either of them was a really good rye whiskey, what I would think of when I would order a rye.
Yeah.
But
well,
that's where I am.
106B6 is your champion in the special barrel finish rye. Now we go to you all will prepare for the American single malt, a category I really love and I'm excited about. But we're gonna the unaged spirit crew is got a lot of work ahead of them. So if you all need to take a break, they're going to be busting into the liqueurs and determining best of the white spirits. So, all right. So let's go ahead and go through the liqueurs. Now, when we look at liqueurs, Francesco, you know, these are typically consumed as like the secondary ingredient in a cocktail, or they're sipped as like an aperitif. And you know, the market on them has been kind of like up and down the last, you know, decade. Where are we right now with liqueurs, do you think? What's the status of the liqueur market?
Well, the liqueur market is actually growing, and there are two distinctions to do. The aperitivo style, usually below 40 proof, has more of that botanical vermouth aperitif that is largely utilized in spritzers nowadays. I think with the new addition to the family, the Pernod family with Italicus and the Bergamot Rosolio, but vermouth is on fire, as you know. Vermouth chinato as well, with more quinine to it. And the chartreuse, the Grand Marnier, of the world will always be there, and they're solid, foundations and benchmarks. I think the creamy dairy products are kind of a hit or miss, and you have all these moonshines flavors. Also, those are kind of a misunderstood or very localized, consumption-driven, community. I came across this flight. I honestly don't know which one to pick. I have three, and there are one as the botanical aromatic, the herbal liqueur has this beautiful waltz dance between lavender and chamomile and a little bit of other, and other herbs, and then you have the pomegranate acidity, and then the nuttiness of this pecan liqueur that I came across on my first tasting. A month ago, and then you have this orange that is definitely has a very malty, was constructed spirit backbone, but at the end, the orange liqueur finish up a little bit on the soapy side for me. I think it's not 100% there, but it's delicious up front. It's just that doesn't convince me at the end. The pecan and the nut liqueur is delicious it can go well with brown spirits for sure, and the herbal is maybe it's a little soft on alcohol. Well, actually not. It's not. Maybe my palate because it's very high proof. But the herbal I think is good. It almost tastes like Ver, is a new liqueur made in Oregon that it wants to emulate the chartreuse style, but. I don't know. I guess I have to choose the child here. Dee, I don't know. What's you think?
I mean, everything you said is so spot on. I was bouncing back and forth between 401-1 and 405-2 kind of creeped up a bit ahead of it for me, but and I tasted this one. I remember this one from the previous tasting is 406-1. Yeah, that I don't know what exact nut that is. I don't know if that's pecan or what, but that one for me tastes in terms of flavor. Yeah, it's like I already know what I want in a cocktail with it. I already kind of know that if I could even splash this in an old fashioned for a variation, and it'll work for me.
Yes.
So really like that one a lot. It doesn't take it's not a lot of muss and fuss. It's not too sweet. It's got enough balance between the actual sugar and the flavor of what they're trying to convey for me. That's really nice. I really like that bitter orange liqueur too. I don't know. We didn't really have this option while we were doing our standard judging, but I gave it like a 7.75 because it was almost an 8.
So I remember I was a big fan of the nut liqueur in the first round.
So when we look, what's your vote, Francesco?
I'm going for the nut liqueur.
Oh wow! All right, so that's not quite a sweep, but it is a really, really close one.
All right, let's do this.
This will be your first time to taste. This is the first time you will be tasting the rum and the aquavit.
I was waiting for the cutaway punch. Just like it.
Okay.
Damn, this is a tough one.
So now we only have one vote that can count from the previous judges because they're the things that they picked for best of in category wouldn't necessarily won. So your 2 votes will be the deciding votes most likely.
And 233-3 was a part of this, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's my vote.
Your vote's the is the barrel aged gin?
Yeah.
Okay.
That one is really good. It's the
go
one
with
I go
D.
back to. So
You're going with D?
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So
I appreciate the harmony throughout.
Yeah, for sure. It is definitely giving a very balanced spirit. I don't have to add anything to it to like it. So
all right. So barrel aged gin wins best white spirit. And so let's go ahead and start with the American single malt. And if we can, no need to get too lengthy with things, but if you feel really passionate about something, please go for it. But Susan, go ahead. I'll give you the floor. What's your pick for best American single malt?
Well, 6, I liked the nose a lot. There was some chocolate there that I was enjoying, but I ultimately thought that 16 was the more elegant whiskey, a little more balanced. It too has some chocolate, but it was sort of soft and, one of those that at the proof would be dangerously sippable. So, I thought that was really very nice. I like.
I was kind of shocked by the proof. I looked at it last.
Yeah.
I was surprised.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
I would go with 16.
Lou, are you 16 as well?
I am 16 as well. I have nothing to say. I actually thought it was a walk away.
Tiffany, Clay?
Yeah, I picked 16, and I thought it was, I thought it was much more what I'd want out of a single malt. Maybe I'm Scotch centric, but I thought it had some nice honey notes. It was very elegant. It just fit the bill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, elegant was absolutely what sprang to mind for me.
Tiffany?
16.
I think that's only our second sweep here. Okay, so now let's go to the craft bourbon. We have 3 things to taste. 110A-3, 110A-8, and 110A-11.
Okay.
A 3 for me stood out. I could describe it, every single layer of it. Lovely malt in there, dry, heat, little apricot, well seasoned. 110A3 for me.
All right, Tiffany. Clay?
I'm going to go with 110A11. I thought the nose was alluring, was nutty and herbal. I actually liked the nose on 8 a little more, but I found 8 a little astringent on some aspects of the palate, where 11 was a little more balanced.
I'm also in on 11.
Okay.
It was the nose that caught me.
All right. Susan?
I'm with 11. And I thought craft bourbon, and it has such banana note on it. I thought, really, does Brown Forman make a craft bourbon? But it was, I liked it a lot, actually. Yeah, I'm all about 11. The fruit and the balance, a lot of caramel. Really good.
So this is 110A11 is your winner of craft bourbon.
110 B9 is funky. It's fun. It's what you just described for craft reminded me. I really wanted to hear your thoughts on that. I mean, the definition of that, and I taste the effort here, and I believe it has a spot on the shelf, hands down.
Clay, do you taste the effort? Where are you sitting?
I do, and I agree. Initially, I had to go back to these several times because initially I had landed on 3 when I first went through. And then, for me, 4 and 8, they missed a lot, and the palates just had this empty space They were a little watery. I don't know. It just didn't, there was something not there. But when I went back a couple of times, 9 really came forward for me. And I think without really knowing why, Tiffany really nailed it. Like it's unique.
I don't know why.
It's gotten, you know, there's something cool going on. Clearly people who know how to work with rye. I still have kind of a soft spot for 3, but 9 kind of gets the edge.
Okay. So that's 2 votes for 9. Lou?
I went with 8. I have to be honest, on my first whip through, pretty much decided that, you know, it was 8's race to lose for me. And I stick with it. I like the nose. I think the nose is like pure rye. And then it just follows through on that. I guess if Tiffany and Clay are going for the funky, and in 9 I'm going for the laser focus on 8.
Respected.
And what was you? So you were 8.
8.
Lou?
Yeah.
Okay. Susan.
Oh boy. Okay. I thought 4 was a nice whiskey because it was full of ripe apples, but that's not what I like in a rye. You know, that wasn't a rye flavor note for me. I agree about the funkiness, but I think I like the spice and the rye, the herbal rye in 8. So I would agree with Lou and go with 8.
Okay, we have a tie.
Is this a Fred tie or?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to come in.
Wow.
unless somebody wants to change their vote. I'm gonna have to come in and do a vote. I'll come in here and do a vote.
Okay.
All right, glass 9. Oh wow. It's like a kind of like a beautiful fennel and like apple, caramel apple. I like that a lot.
Got some pear.
Yeah, it's some nice stuff in 9. 8 smells kind of like biodiesel. Yeah.
I guess Lou and my palates have died now. I guess we're done.
I'm going with 9. I feel like 9 is like really got something special to it. But the nose on 8 was not attractive, but the flavor on it to me was actually very nice. But it was very herbally. I like that part, but I loved 9. Like I kind of want to, like, when this is all over, I might just sip that with a cigar later. So
I was actually thinking about that single malt.
Oh yeah.
I took that first sip, that single malt, and I just wanted to keep going.
Yeah.
Very. I didn't taste that one, so I have to get that out. All right, so 11111 is your best Tennessee whiskey. You don't have to taste that. All right, so we are on to the best blend of straights. 118A4, 118A6. Taste away and let us know your thoughts. Max Solano's vote is going to 118A6.
Yeah, I this is really hard. And I know we've said that about every batch, but maybe it's because it's a head-to-head, but found this pretty difficult, but they're both great. 6 is my vote, though.
Okay.
I'm going to tip to 6 too. I agree. These are really good whiskeys.
Yeah, I would talk about what I want to drink later tonight. Like either of these would be fantastic to have.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Susan?
I think 6 is really, really balanced.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what stands out to me about it. I love the sort of candied fruit on 4, but I think the balance in 6 won me over. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, super close, very close. I definitely sip these all night long. But there is a toffee or brown sugar that's coming off of 6 to go with the fruit that is just sexy. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's
Exactly.
very romantic here. Very, very.
I mean, this is one I really want to know what this is.
I'm keeping this one under the pillow. That's a
So 118.6 is a unanimous winner, and Tiffany's keeping it under the pillow for later.
my pillow.
All right, so now for best American rye, which will go on to compete against the craft rye. So have we all tasted?
I want to do a water test first.
Yeah. I have to have a little water in between.
Yeah, and that big boy in the middle is really freaking big.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, yeah. Wow.
But as Elmer T said to me one time, it's awful well mannered.
The best thing about being a whiskey taster is that we will never have to invest in nose hair trimmers. You know, that's the best.
For damn sure.
Oh, 128.
Yeah, 120.
Yeah.
120.
Sorry, I had to do a double
I
take.
was like, damn it.
Let's go 8.
Maybe it's me. Maybe it's the hour that we're on. I know my palate's still present, but I don't feel like fighting my palate right now on the other 2 ryes. And 128 is just riding smooth. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying not it being so complex. It's soft. It's delicate. A lot of stone fruit in there for me. And I dig the color. It's so pretty. I'm gonna turn my lamp on because the sun is set here. But
So Tiffany's vote goes to 120-8, as does Max Solano's vote. So that's 2 votes for 120-8.
Yowzer.
One more vote for it, and it will be the winner of this class.
I don't have that vote. I'm going with 30. I was liking 27 until I added water, and it just fell apart. I was shocked. I had a little bit of water, and it just kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say it disintegrated, but
It didn't do anything for it, you know?
No, it was like a hollow whiskey at that point. All it did was cool it down. Yeah. No, I wasn't. So I'm going with 30.
Okay. Susan?
I think I'm on 30 as well. I would not be offended if 8 took it, but
likewise.
Yeah, but I do like 30. I like the combination of the fruit and the spice on 30.
Clay, we've been down this path before where you have the deciding vote.
I know,
a
right?
Dangerous path.
Well, I mean, practically speaking, you know, I mean, it would be useless for me to vote for 27. No, because look,
I would just step in and taste.
I know, but we don't want that. No, I would go at 30. 30. I get Tiffany's point. I mean, yeah, it's tempting, but
Okay,
yeah,
so let's go ahead and determine our best rye. So I can, before we get into the scotches, I want to get the Americans out of the way before we get into scotch, because I don't want to mince flavors. So the best craft rye was 110B 9, 110B9. So taste that up against
Oh, there it is.
120/30.
Okay.
120/30. As our tasters go in to choose the best rye, the complications of the night are weighing on them. Susan is looking at her notes, wondering about butterflies in England.
Actually, I'm enjoying the cicadas, who are now sort of quiet because it's darker in here now.
I think the whole cicada thing is one of the coolest things in biology. I just think
Now, I'm not sure you can see, but I have a cicada pin that one of my students gave
Oh?
me years
I
ago.
did see that. I saw that. Yeah.
And so people are now saying, "Oh, wow, you really." I get great compliments on this all the time. So
I'm fascinated
this
by
is the
cicadas.
year.
Have you all had a lot of cicadas?
It's 80 decibels outside my front door.
Is that right?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
nothing where I am.
Not where we are.
Do you have a lot?
No. I did live down in Virginia during the last outbreak, and it was deafening.
Yeah, it's so cool. Well, Fred, you live in a place that doesn't have old trees.
True.
So you won't have them. Yeah, but I live I'm right across from Cherokee Park, and I'm in Crescent Hill, and it's very, very, old trees, and it's great. You can see them flying around, and they bump into the house, they bump into me.
Yeah, there's thudding all the time.
Yeah. I call it the great insect opera. It's all sex, singing, and death. It's perfect.
On that note,
Yes. Oh, yes. We're talking about whiskey. Sorry, I get distracted by insects.
on that note, let's just go ahead and raise hands. Does anybody vote for the craft rye 110B9? 110B9. We have 2 votes for 110B9, 2 votes for 110B9, and 2 votes for what I am assuming is the other. So that means I have to go in and do the tiebreaker. I am absolutely excited to see that we are having a tiebreaker with the craft distillery rye.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Another thing I shared, I was like, man, the rye game is strong.
I remember sitting at McSorley's in New York about 5 years ago with David Wondrich, and one just saying, when the hell is one of these craft distillers going to make a rye worth drinking? And shit has changed.
Yeah.
Great.
Yes, yeah.
Well, I think that this is a pretty easy one for me. Well, I really appreciate the craft rye. There is a boldness, a beauty to 120-3. So that is our competition's best rye after a tiebreaker here. So 120-3.
30. Yes, 30.
3-0.
I'm sorry, 30. 120-30.
Just checking, Fred.
Yeah. I haven't been drinking.
Very different color.
Yeah. And very different proof from what we've been drinking.
Yeah, well, it's Scotch,
Yeah.
Easy there, Susan.
Yeah,
come on.
Well, I love Scotch, and there's one that I really love that I can't get here. That I have a former student who is at the University of Edinburgh in the veterinary school, and next time she's home, she's bringing me a bottle of it, so it's all good.
Wow.
Yeah.
That takes me back.
Oh my.
So 154.1 or 154.3?
Oh, geez.
Oh, pick your.
But they're so good, both of them.
You sound like my ophthalmologist. Is it better this way or this way? They're both good. What?
You know, when I look out of my right eye, it's terrific, you know.
The winner will go on to compete for best Scotch.
Oh, gee.
All right, I'm gonna pick 154.1 because out of nostalgia. Because I used to drink a fair amount of Glenlivet 12 back in the day, like way back in the day when I was in grad school, and it just really reminds me of that, and it just tastes really good. I'll go with that one.
All right, Clay.
I'm gonna go with 154.3, but geez, I don't know. I mean,
it's hard.
I want to go home with both of them,
and mostly because I don't like Lou, and I don't want to agree with him.
I've noticed that all night.
Well, I don't know, but no, for the same reasons. There's something that it's warm and friendly and rich, and I like that. Although I love the elegant honeyed Speyside quality.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
But, I'm gonna go with 3.
Tiffany?
That's tough. I drank my entire sample of 154.1. It's delicious. It was perhaps because I just came off of what we did, but it was just so comfortable. It was just friendly. Very tough though. It will not be under my pillow because I drink it most of these.
All right, Susan, you have the deciding vote. Is it 1 or is it 3?
Oh my gosh. Well, again, the word is elegant for 1. Really, really liked it, but I love the richness of 3.
All right.
I'm going to vote for 3.
Yeah.
I just like that richness, the complexity, but I mean, the mouthfeel on 3 is just really, really nice.
Yeah.
But
all right, so now
we this is hard. This is really hard.
Yeah, it's the best of the best. And now we go to the no age statement, 156.1 versus 156.4. And then after that, best Scotch, and you guys can go home and curl up with the
go home.
Curl up with the booze under your pillow.
There might be some comment about that in my household, but that's okay. That's
no, they're used to that in my house. So
yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Fred, what were the numbers again? I'm sorry.
Sure thing. 1561, 1564, 1561, 1564.
Bingo.
Okay. Send us a list via email and we'll be on it.
Yeah, well, that's different.
Wow.
That's exciting.
So great. Fred, thank you so much.
Yes.
Including us.
Fun time.
Absolutely.
What a pleasure.
Well, I'd much rather it be in person. So 1561 or 1564.
Okay. Okay.
1564.
All right.
Stand up. Truly a highland for me. It says everything that I wanted to say. The peat is present. The smoke. I mean, it's just a BLT all day. It's a mouthful.
All right. Anyone else for 4? Susan?
I'm there. Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
Clay and Lou, you guys are for 1?
Yeah.
I am for 1.
Yeah.
That
Me too.
means
I was thinking 4, sniffing it, tasting it, finishing it, and then I went to 1. I don't know why I did 4 first, because I haven't been. I've been doing it numeric because it's kind of weird, little jerk I am. But I came to 1 second and it just knocked me out, even after the peat.
So Max Solano has the deciding vote, and he has chosen 1564. 1564 is the deciding vote for
Well,
Max
he's wrong,
Solano.
but okay.
There's nothing we can do.
So now,
that's
yeah. I mean, all 4 of these.
Incredible.
so now we choose best Scotch, and then you can go home.
okay. So
1533, 1543, and 1564.
1533.
1543.
1533, 1543, 1564.
Oh, right, the other one. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's
Wait.
all good.
All right. Sorry. I'm so 1533.
Yeah.
1543, 1564.
There it is. There it is.
I know, for some reason I had it way off to the side too.
Okay.
Okay. And I need to get
Gonna
one more
pour-
glass.
I've lost track of which are which. So. All right.
Okay, so let's go back to the drawing board. Have we all tasted?
Yep.
Yep.
Anybody voting for 1533 up to 12-year-old Scotch single malt? Anyone for 15-3? 15-3? Nope, no votes for 15-3. 154-3. 154-3. That's 3 votes for 154-3. That will carry the.
And
as well.
did you vote for that as well?
Yeah, I will actually. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So 154-3. It's unanimous.
Wow.
Very nice.
Yes.
All right, everybody. So that was kind of like a playoff. So if you imagine this being like a track meet, those would have been heats, or if you imagine this being like the NFL playoffs or a basketball tournament, that was kind of like the first couple rounds. Now this next one, this is the finals. This is the elite. So this would be like the Sweet 16. Or something, it's not an equivalent. It's not apples to apples. It's a little bit apples to oranges, or maybe it's bourbon to Scotch. But that's what's about to happen here. Now you're going to be introduced to all kinds of other whiskeys that have done really, really well in the competition, and they just blew out their categories so much that they didn't have to go into that kind of playoff round. So like the best world whiskey, which is an English whiskey, it swept its category. The best Japanese whiskey swept its category. The Irish whiskey swept its category. Same with Canadian whiskey. Same with corn whiskey. So you have all of these whiskey categories that are now going to be tasted by the judges in this setting for the first time. You also got to see a little bit of the judges kind of like, I'm not going to say their palates were fatigued because they're professionals and they were doing great, but you could tell it was time for them to take the night off. And, as Tiffany said, sleep with the bourbon under her pillow. And that is exactly what they did. They took the night off. We regrouped. We sent them more samples, and then they are tasting here fresh. So what you all are about to witness here is the absolute final. So this is it. So you're going to see there's going to be a little ticker at the bottom. I'm so excited about the ticker when it comes to the best in show, because I've always wanted to have like a Sports Center ticker, on my show. And so Jason, my editor, was able to pull that off, and I'm just so excited about it. So I can't wait for you to see that. But so that's what we have here. We are in the finals, and a couple things to point out. The best bourbon, you saw what was being tasted in the previous rounds. Now what is entering into here is also the best straight bourbon. The best straight bourbon. So these categories, they get entered by the entrants. So the entrants, the distilleries, choose what category they go in. Sometimes we go in there and we see they're in the wrong category. We move them along to somewhere else. But we don't make that decision unless they're doing it wrong. So if they put a single barrel in a small batch, for example, we would move that into the single barrel category. So only when there's an entry error will we move it. So what one best straight bourbon could have actually competed in another category, but it competed in straight bourbon versus wheated bourbon. So with that being said, enjoy the absolute finals, the best in show, and congratulations to all the winners. When this is done, I will have one final sign off, so make sure you stick around. And if you haven't already, it helps with the algorithm as seeing this live. So if you can click the like button on this, and you can keep the comments coming in the chat, that helps other people find this live stream tonight. We will cut this up and put it out in its own standalone segments throughout the year. But for now, you're here live, and you're going to see it before anybody else. So here we go. Giddy up. All right, tasters, here we are to determine the best in show. Who's going to get this beauty here? The coveted best in show. This is actually made out of platinum, forged by gods in the Mediterranean or something like that. But this is our first time to do this. Hopefully it will happen in person next year. But of course, I'm very proud of what we all have accomplished and what we've done. And we're going to determine our best in show whiskey. I have the votes in for best bourbon from Lou, Clay, and Susan. So Max, Tiffany, and me will now taste the best in taste the bourbon class, which is 100 3.3, 100 A2, 102 2.1, and these are here because they were voted in and scored. Had a high enough score to be in this round. So here we are. The three of us will taste and figure this out, and then we will see who is best bourbon.
Fred, can you do me a favor? Can you repeat those three? I'm missing one.
133.
Yep.
100 A-2. 121. Or I'm sorry, 102.21.
Gotcha.
Do you have them all?
Yeah.
I know you have so many little bottles, it's kind of. Well, in my first one, I just spilled like half the glass on myself, so I'm off to a good start. Yummy. All right. Lou, do you recall your notes from your tasting? We lost Lou. We didn't lose him,
I do. No, I'm
Okay.
here. I'm here. I just haven't. There we go. Sorry, hit the wrong button. I do. I mean, most of what I made my choice on came down to a question of integration.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that the wheat whiskey 100 A-2.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that it held together and passed smoothly from each stage better than the other two. I was actually kind of surprised by that because I'm not usually a big fan of wheat bourbons, but I went on this one.
All right. Now, Clay, Susan,
Mm-hmm.
you both voted for 133. Tell me why.
Oh, go ahead, Susan.
Oh, thanks, Clay. I really like the richness of this. I just thought it was deep, really rich and deep. And I love the fact that the caramel, the vanilla, the fruit, the spice, all of it was just, they were just all so present. I love the richness and the balance of it.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. That is exactly how I felt. I thought it was just luscious and rich. They were all, I mean, we say this every time. They were all good, but that one really stood out for me.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
Well, I tell you, this was this is a very difficult decision for me to make personally. I lean a lot toward like what Lou was talking about with the, just kind of the way 100A2 was just completely beautiful and balanced throughout. But there was a butteriness to 133 as well that just kind of wowed me. I think if I'm choosing between those two, I'm choosing 100A2. I think that has I just think it has that little extra quality I'm looking for when it comes to balance. And then that one special note that I see sometimes that I love, marzipan. It was there's a little hint of marzipan, some honey in there. But the one that really kind of captured me and just kind of held me throughout was 10221. 10221 is my vote.
Yep. Same here, Fred.
All right, so Max is going with 10221.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That means we're either going to have a three-way tie, or Tiffany's going to have the deciding vote.
No pressure, Tiffany.
I know. It's been a long day, so this is really good. I really love them all. My heart in the beginning, looking at my old notes and these notes, like retasting it, 100A2 was delicate and fun. I have a lot of soft, I love the color for one. It just drove me. But the dry fruits in 0221, 10221, and the dryness, the finish is just, it makes me happy. That's my votes.
10221.
Fantastic.
Is and here's the thing. This is what's beautiful about this. All three bourbons got serious consideration from everybody here. I think that's fantastic.
Oh, definitely.
This was tough. That was a rough one.
So go ahead.
I want to say, Fred, that obviously at this point, this is what we expect during sweeps.
Yeah,
so it's
kind of ought to be that way, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you never want to get a stinker at this stage. But so congratulations to 10221 for being our bourbon champion. And we can go ahead and, because you're going to have to make room somehow and you don't want to mix up your glasses. So go ahead and take a little time to remove those two and the glasses that you used. This is where, like in competition, like if we were in person, we'd have a whole staff doing this. So, if we do it virtually next year, I'll make sure that we send somebody to your house to do this.
Steward.
Yeah, I sent my staff home for the night. So
can I request the gender and the outfit, maybe?
Yeah.
Done.
Thanks.
All right. So now this is going to be all we are doing now is we are going to taste through these. And if you taste something that you really wows you, speak up. Feel free to comment. If you have, there are a couple of them that we don't have full pours on, so be mindful of that. Like the Japanese whiskey and the blended Irish whiskey or the Irish whiskey. They don't have full pours, as well as like the port cask finish. So just be mindful of that as you are going. And the basically we're just going to taste, and then we're going to kind of talk, and then we will vote. So go in whatever order that you feel comfortable in. You know, obviously we have all had the opportunity to taste these already, so giddy up.
Anyone ever spit a little too aggressively into a spit cup and had it go in your eye?
Oh yeah.
That happened the other night we were together. Yes. It did.
I just did that.
Yeah, the good news is that it usually sterilizes your eyes. So if you have a virus in there or any kind of bacteria,
that's what I was looking for. I was looking for a little eye sterilization.
Not good for the contacts at all.
This is the hardest part, Fred, you know.
Oh, I know.
Because these are all going to be really good because we already figured out they were really good.
Yeah. Well, the beautiful thing is I have tasted with every one of you individually, but this is really the first time I've gotten to taste with some of my best friends in a group like this. This is just so much. This is so much fun. I mean, throw the whiskey quality out. To me, like this is all about the camaraderie and everything. Love it. Gonna be a showdown. You know, as I pour the corn whiskey, I think to myself of like how far this category has come. You know, corn whiskey kind of used to be like the forgotten, like nobody cared about it category, and we're really starting to see a lot of good corn whiskeys come on the market.
Yeah, it was that part of the standards of identification that you just like, oh, and there's also.
I'm saying as a group, we may tend towards sweeter whiskeys from what I've been tasting so far. Sort of interesting.
Well, this is the American Spirits Council of Tasters. You know, as Americans, we do have our sweet tooth.
We do. Well, we grew up on our bourbon. You know, it's not like the Brits don't have sweet teeth.
If they have any left.
Yeah, exactly. There you are.
I was wondering who was going to drop that.
Well, and you know, sticky toffee pudding and all that good stuff. You know, that'll take it out of your teeth.
Now, when we did when we chose this as a victor, I remember on the American single malt. I remember Lou, like just absolutely in love with that one. I'll be curious tonight to see like how Lou's perception of the American single malt is.
Lou's not so happy with it tonight, actually. I already tasted it.
Yeah, I kind of thought, I mean, it was nice, but I just like, you know, after going up against some of these others, it's like, it's not there, you know?
I think that's, you know, I'll say it. I think that's emblematic of the entire category right now.
Yeah.
It's not quite there yet.
I would agree, but I still think that there's maybe 2 or 3 absolute standouts in the American single malt category right now. I mean, they're doing just a consistently great job, but I think as a whole, you're absolutely right. But, you know,
years ago, I had no time for them at all. So yeah, I mean, I agree. There are a couple that are, but.
And all the ones, but just so we're clear, all the ones who had like, who have that reputation as being quality, they almost all entered the competition. So we would have had opportunity to taste them. Now I'm about to come up on the light whiskey. For those who will be seeing this on the recording, light whiskey is not like Coors Light. This is a category of whiskey that was basically created to compete against vodka in the late 60s and early 70s, and it was an absolute and utter failure, and that ended up being like a blending agent. And then a distillery in Indiana gets picked up and starts selling off stocks, and suddenly people are bottling light whiskey with their grandpappy's recipe.
Yeah.
When I first started hearing about that, all I could think about was that line from the Blues Brothers. We could turn goat's piss into gasoline. That's what light whiskey became after 20 years in the barrel.
Whew, this is a lot of work.
That's a lot of proof, boys. That's
Yeah.
Damn. I don't know if you saw, I took some of the, I kind of skimmed the top off the samples and did a combination bottle.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was just taking a rough look at the proofs. It's got to be sitting around at least 108, just from, I mean, which is nuts.
Fred, you said the Irish was not blended. Is that what you...
No. It's a pure pot still, 15-year-old.
Okay.
Mm. Well, someone forgot to turn their ringer off. I'm going to turn that off right now.
That light whiskey is not light.
No. I saved it toward the last, and it took a piece of my palate with it. Well, I don't feel like the Canadian whiskey
did not hold up. No,
did not have its best day.
Nope.
On the other hand, right after it, that Irish at 40 proof is holding, or 40% is holding up amazingly well against these other
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing.
makes me think again. I know I always use the beer analogies, but a friend of mine has a brewery that does everything at 4.5% and under, and he's like, it's not a good light pilsner; it's a good pilsner. And I think that's you want to have. It's not a good mixing whiskey. It's good whiskey. It's got to be a good whiskey.
Guinness is not high alcohol.
No.
Tons of flavor.
Yep.
That was my
Doesn't
first
have to
beer.
Doesn't have to be heavy.
I
won't say it's all down here from there, but I'm thinking about your remark the other night, Susan, about recognizing whiskey tasters by the lack of nose hair. Because I'm feeling crisp again.
Yeah, those people who sell those nose hair trimmers, they have zero market with us.
Well, all I got to say is we did a damn good job putting some good whiskeys forward. I'm really impressed with this.
Wow, I put a little water in that goat piss gasoline, and that is good whiskey.
The light whiskey, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we're
I
too
was
far
thinking
off
if I
from
put
someone.
water in it, it would fall apart.
I don't think we're too far off from somebody labeling a whiskey goat piss whiskey. I mean,
I'll bet with a barrel pick somebody has.
So I think it's probably too difficult for us to single it down to just one. So I would say let's all pick our top 5 and then just prepare to have a conversation about each one. Typically how we would do this is we would go through and vote on each one of them. But I feel like a discussion is merited here because there's just so much incredible quality here that I kind of want to talk about it.
I still have 5 to go here, Fred. So just
Max is usually the slowest taster. So
I'm just on number 5 right now. So take your time.
Well, hey, you're the one with a hot date later, so
the things I do for you, buddy. I will say the one underwhelming one that I've had so far that I really had high expectations for, Fred, was the Japanese whiskey. It's good, but it's, nothing near, excellence as far as some of the really, really good ones that I've had.
I eliminated that one too, Max. Hi, I'm Susan. We didn't meet at the last round, but yeah.
Pleasure.
Yeah. I liked it, but then I thought, next to these others.
Yeah.
Not going there.
Nope.
No.
Average.
Yep.
I'm not putting it forward, but I have to really compliment the corn whiskey. I thought the corn whiskey was incredibly vibrant, had a lot of sweetness and complexity to it for being a corn whiskey. Of course, those going into used barrels, you don't always get that sweetness extraction from the wood. And I just thought this was an incredible representation of the category. Definitely worthy of the title of best corn whiskey for this competition.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Fred, when are the results going to get posted?
These recordings will we'll stream live Sunday. And so they'll be announced Sunday. Press release goes out on Monday.
Great.
Well, so I want to write about it in my column for Food and Dining, so I hope I'm on the press release circuit.
Well, you're ahead of that. If you want, so you know.
But I won't post until Friday, so.
No, okay. Well, whatever you want to do.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the single malt will not be going through. The American single malt will not be going through for me.
Nope.
The blend of straight bourbons is really impressive to me.
Yes.
Just had it. Fantastic.
I dare say that if we put the blend of straights, it's its own category in this competition.
Let's see where you're going.
And I think that if that would have been in the overall bourbon category, it probably would have won. But the reason that it's not in there is because they can actually add coloring to the blend of straights category, so it's not exact. I mean, some of them, not everyone does that or anything, but it's is what it is. And the best Scotch, well, nice for me, very pleasant. I don't think it stands up to the rest of the crowd.
I'm still working on that. I thought that the first time through, but going back to it and liking it more. On the other hand, the second time through, I'm liking the American rye less.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go to that American rye one more time. If I can find it. Where did you go? Yeah, there it is. And I'm where did it go there? Wow, Lou, you know what? I went back to the rye and it was just overly herbaceous. I'm glad you said something.
Yeah, I didn't like it when I went back to it.
Yeah, it's overly herbaceous now for me. I'm glad you said something on that because it was in my 5.
Yeah, I'm really working hard on the last one of my 5. I've got 4, but now I don't want to waste one.
If you want to go 6, that's fine. We'll go 6.
No, I think sticking to 5 is probably a good idea.
Mm. Mm.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and have the bourbon. It was going to be between that and the other whiskey. And it looks like I'm going to choose the bourbon. But if I was doing 6, the world whiskey would be.
That was shocking.
Yeah. Any details about that?
I like the world.
Yeah, I'd
whiskey
like
a
to know
lot.
more about it.
Yeah.
The world whiskey?
I like that a lot.
Yeah, I like
Can
the
we
world.
find out anything about it?
Is it on your Is it on your 5 list?
Yeah.
It is on mine.
Yeah, it is for mine as well, Fred.
I mean, it's in my top 6. Let me see if I
It's in my contention for that last slot.
Let's see if I am able to tell you anything.
See, I like the American rye because I like the fact it was herbal. That's what I expect from rye.
It's in my 5.
Yeah. You know, I want to taste the grass and the weeds and the stuff in the rye.
Yeah.
It is an English whiskey.
Oh,
really? Interesting.
Fantastic.
I know that the English are trying to compete right now, so that's very interesting. Huh.
I mean, if that won the competition, I'd be very happy with that. I mean, these top 6 are very, very, very tight for me. And I got to tell you, like, I am an enormous fan of these barrel finishes. These
I hate to say it, Fred. I was thinking the same exact thing as I'm on to my second to last one, and I was tasting through the special barrel finish bourbon. It scored pretty high, but I also have the special barrel finish rye up pretty high as well.
Yeah, these barrel finishes are like crushing it for me, man.
Yeah,
and just the basic whiskey and then the bourbon.
But you know, the one that I really, really enjoyed was the Irish.
Yeah,
definitely my 5.
I loved it a lot.
I'm still going back what Fred was saying about that blend of straights.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a very strong whiskey.
Yep. The Irish scored well, but you have some powerhouses here, and I feel with a lot of the higher ABVs that we're dealing with, I think for me personally, as well as the Irish did, kind of fell off. It just, I don't even think it made my top 7, to be honest with you. It did well, but there's so many good ones here.
Well, the fascinating thing is I really, really love high proof whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
So if something comes in at 80 proof and I really like it,
It doesn't disappear.
right, that absolutely makes me sit up and take notice, because usually I'm all about the barrel proof, the high proof.
Yep.
You know, I can play with the proof and put the water in I like, and when it's 80 proof and it's really good, I think, somebody really knows what they're doing there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fascinating to me. But I absolutely understand what you're saying, Max. You know, it doesn't, you know, you don't want to, it's not a whiskey you can add water to or put an ice cube in or something.
Right.
But it's totally right as it is.
You're not discounting it. I mean, it based on the merit of it being a lower ABV, it is what it is. It still did really well, but I'm saying there were so many amazing ones, other amazing ones in this lineup that.
That's what we have tonight, alas. You know, that's why this is tough.
Yep.
So are we all ready to talk? Everyone got our 5?
I only had 4. That's how tough I am.
You are tough. I like that.
I tell you what, I want to do one more tasting.
I'm never this quiet, Fred. You know that, right?
No, what's going on here?
Tiffany, hi.
Right? Hey, y'all, I'm still here. Shit. This is very hard. I keep bouncing back, and I'm beating myself up because we're tasting at 9. Of course, it's the end of the night. My palate has been in space, but revisiting, I'm thinking of these numbers so differently as far as I'm in a marketing mind, I'm in a cocktail mind, I'm in a neat mind, I'm in this time of night kind of what would I sip kind of mind, which is different than we were tasting earlier in the afternoon at sunset. I don't know if that's a bad way or a good way, but I'm all about judging without my opinion, but also what's going to make the dollar, because that's what they want to win for.
Yeah, you're thinking about marketing. You're very tied to brand strategies and everything. So that kind of makes sense, actually.
Yeah,
that's your background.
I'm sipping these and I'm like, what's gonna, where's my nightcap? What's sexy? What's ill? And I'm surprised looking at my old notes and new notes, but I got my 5. I had to be quiet just to do that. And I hate being quiet.
Well, it makes me worried when you're quiet. So
it makes me worried when I'm quiet. Shit. I was worried. I was like, everyone's talking and I can't say a thing. I was focused.
All right. So, Clay, you want to start us off?
Yeah. All right. You want me to just list my top 5?
Let's do it.
All right. So it's the bourbon. So 102.21.
Yep.
That's number 1 for you?
I mean, in no particular order.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
To start. Right.
Okay.
Then the blend of straights, the 118A_6.
Mm-hmm.
The rye, the 120_30. The Scotch, the 154_3. And the world whiskey, the English 161_3.
All right. Do you want to make a case for any of these?
Not yet.
All right. Tiffany?
I was just so quiet for so long. 102.1. That's small batch bourbon.
Okay.
109. Oh wait, nope. I kid you. 106.12. That's special barrel finished bourbon.
Okay.
That was good.
Yeah. 118_6.
Okay. Second vote for that one.
I put a heart next to it, like that part. 142_7.
Okay.
And I've scratched it out. I kept going back. I scratched it out. I kept going back. So I can say 6, right? Can I say 6?
If you have a tie,
okay.
If you have a tie, then since Susan only has 4.
Actually, I now have 5.
Now you have 5?
I now have 5.
Does the gentle lady yield?
I could drop one. I really could drop one. Because it made me happy.
Well, I mean, at this point, it's just a basis for discussion, isn't it?
Yeah. So just if you've got it, just drop it.
154_3.
Okay.
And the world whiskey. I mean.
And what's the number? What's the number on the world whiskey? It's
161_3.
Okay. All right. All right, Max.
All right, drum roll. All right, here we go. My first one, and I think this one has been the popular one, is 102_21. The small batch bourbon 6 to 10. So that one, best bourbon. Second pick for me, and again, Fred, these are in no particular order, but these are my top 5 scores. Second one is going to be 10612, the special barrel finished bourbon. Third one is going to be 106B6, the special barrel finished rye. Did really well. Another popular one amongst the group so far, 118A6, the blend of straight. And also a popular one amongst the group so far, 161.3 World Whiskey.
Okay. All right, Lou.
I'm going to agree on the blend of straights.
What number is that?
118A6. 118A6.
Okay. All right.
The Irish 142.7.
First vote for that one.
Second vote.
Yeah,
somebody else
Tiffany had it as well.
Oh, there it is. Yep. Yeah, that was her sixth. The sixth coming in.
Cheater.
Unranked. Unranked. I mean, mine are unranked. I'm just doing them in order down the sheet.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
I'm throwing in the light whiskey. I was just blown away by how good it was, even after dilution. I thought that was
what? All right, what number
worthy
is
of
that?
a look.
What number is that?
145.2.
145.2.
Oh, I actually I was with you on that. I have it definitely there. Such great notes. And I put the word
I was
wow.
stunned by it.
I put wow.
Yeah.
I literally wrote wow.
I wrote boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's better than the goat.
It is better than goat piss. Yes.
That is a great marketing slogan.
Yeah, these are comic strip
Better than goat piss.
comments.
You know, if I got that press that said whiskey better than goat piss, boy, would I run with that. You know,
Yep.
that would be super.
I mean, Bill Samuels would have a heyday with that. You kidding me?
I'm going with the Scotch as well. I mean, the first time through, I was just like, what the hell did I get the right whiskey here? And then when I went back to it, it was wow. At that point, almost soothing. And then I started digging into it.
Okay.
And then I'm going with the world whiskey as well. 161.3.
161.3. All right, Susan.
Okay, I have the 102.21 bourbon. It's in the mix. I like the 106B6 finished rye.
Second vote for that one. Okay.
I really liked the Irish whiskey. It was just very, very good. And again, at that proof, boy, it's
got to be good.
Hanging in there. It was hanging in there.
Okay.
My note about the single malt Scotch was elegant! Exclamation point.
You're going with single malt Scotch?
Yeah, I'm going with 154-3.
Okay.
And then, well, the world whiskey.
Wow.
Fruit, apple, fascinating.
Yeah.
Really fascinating. Very different from everything else.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, not shy fruit either.
Yeah.
You didn't have to tease it out. It was right there.
Yeah.
Fruitiness. Exactly. The first thing I wrote was fruitiness was so there, and complex. Like.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, the English have only had 500 years to learn how to do this from the Scottish, so you figure that at this point.
Probably why they went to war with Scotland was to figure out how.
Sent the spy boys up there.
Yeah, zealous.
Yeah, they were totally jealous.
So, world whiskey to this point has had a vote from everybody.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
But as you may recall, it did not get a vote for me. It was on the outside looking in as like number 6 for me. My vote in that taste off went to the bourbon, which was 102.21. And then I was also for the Irish, which is 142.7. 106.12 was a big fan of that one. I think I'm the only vote for nope. So I also voted for 118A6. And I voted for 119.5. So my throwaway vote for 119.5. And then let's see. Did I mention 106.12? Did I mention that one?
Yes.
And then no, I don't think. Did I mention 106.12?
No, you did. Nope, you did 106.6. B6.
Yeah.
Okay, my mistake.
So here are my votes: 102, 102.21, 142.7, 118A6, 106.12, and then 119.5. And by my calculation, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 4 products with 5 votes. And then 2 with 4. So I think we take the 4 with 5 votes and do a taste off.
Okay.
What do we got?
So our taste off is 102.21, 118A6, 1543, and 1613. All right, so here they are. 102.21.
Not at all. He's such a youngster. Okay, here we go.
102.21. Bourbon 6 to 10 years old.
Yep.
118A6. Blend of straight bourbon. 1543. Single malt Scotch, best Scotch. And then 1613 World Whiskey. There's somebody watching me outside my window.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I always forget.
Scary.
I always forget to close my blinds.
The fuck? Sorry. What?
Yeah, I live in a neighborhood where people walk around and they always peer into my office, see if I have Pappy or some shit.
I don't want you to be that casual. That's fucked up.
Well, we live in a very casual neighborhood.
Yeah, well, you have the neighborhood with the trees. I have the neighborhood with the cicadas, which is so cool. I understand it.
All right, so everyone feels good about what we put forth in our finals. Pretty much everybody had a vote for these, and these would have carried a vote.
I'm weeping for the Irish, but that's all right.
Yep.
But if you look at the proofs on these,
so I can get some.
These are all incredible proofs,
Yeah. But I was impressed by how well that 80 proof Irish held up against everybody else.
Well, you do notice the 46 proof Scotch in the final 4. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they're doing okay too.
Yeah, I've heard they are pretty good about making whiskey.
They seem to know what they're doing.
Yeah, they do.
So good the English stole it.
Yeah. It's been going on for a long time, I think. Yeah.
Oh man.
Ruh-roh.
Water.
Oh.
So this is our final 4. Come to think of it, look at this, in basic playoff form.
I'm going to do what I do when I do barrel selections, is just push the ones back that I think was good, but not my favorite. I just do physically push the glasses back. Hmm.
Now, does anybody have something that was not in here that they really think should be in after tasting this flight?
I think I'm still going to make the argument for one of the special barrel finishes between the rye and the bourbon, that they're fantastic.
Does anybody want to second that to bring one into the taste?
Max, which one are you speaking on?
So they both tied, and I'm talking about 106.12 and 106 B6.
Okay, I'm with you. 106.12 is you weren't on the last one, but this one goes underneath my pillow.
So any objections to bring in 106.12 for this tasting?
I don't have an objection, but I ain't going to vote for it. But
yeah, it was gone for me.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
we can bring it in. Happy to consider it.
I have a lot of ellipses next to it. I actually put an X next to it.
yeah, I had an X next to it too.
Slide it this way so it can go under my pillow.
Crap, I got everything mixed up here. I got to go wash a glass.
All right. I'm glad we did that, so there would be no doubt.
I'd like to bring the Irish back.
That's what I was just about to ask.
I am not sentimental about the Irish. I went to university in England, so, just saying.
Okay, so we can bring the Irish back. It had the same amount of votes as the 106.12, so that's the only one that would be really eligible to come back. So, all right.
But Seamus Haney's niece was one of my classmates, just saying.
No shit.
Indeed. Judith.
Yeah, that Irish is incredible, but there can only be one.
Okay. Boy.
I still taste a ton of stuff out of that Irish, even after abusing my palate.
Mm-hmm. That's impressive. I live about 5 minutes away from Louisville's best Irish pub that has a great Irish whiskey list. So I've tasted a lot of Irish whiskeys over the last, while. Just saying.
All right, I'm gonna write these down here. So
I'm enjoying it. It's almost like birthday cake frosting, the Irish whiskey, but in a good way.
Hey, Fred, so question for you. So with these final 5, are we just going to take a tally, but we're able to vote for more than one, and then again, by default, whichever one has the most votes will be our overall winner?
that was the the original plan when we had 4 was for us to choose, and then if there was a tie, to go back and forth. But let's say you can have 2 votes here. You can have 2 votes, and so you can have 2 votes here on the final 6. Because there's only 6 of us here, and there's always a chance that we would all pick a different whiskey. So let's go ahead and taste our final taste. And if anybody wants to make an argument, now would be the time. I know where my vote's going.
Same.
All right. Does everybody know where their votes are going?
Yep.
Yep.
102-21. Raise your hand if you want to vote for 102-21. So we have 2 votes there. 118A6. 2 votes there. 1543. 1543. 2 votes there.
3.
All right. 3 votes there. So Tiffany Clay, you have exhausted your 2 votes. 1613. I'm sorry, 1613. 1613. 2 votes there. 10612. Wait, I didn't vote. I also voted for 10633. So that's 3 votes there. 10612. 1427. 1427. So we have a taste off between
Wait a minute. I was a 1427. And my glass on top of it.
It doesn't really matter because you only get 1 vote.
Mind. Okay, fine.
But it's all good. But so we have a taste off between 1543 and 1633, and now there can only be 1 vote.
1613.
613.
Well, I'm sorry, 1613.
So it's the 2. It's the British and the Scottish.
Wow.
Is that what we're talking about?
That's
the
what it's
English
going.
and the Scottish. Excuse me.
That's what it's coming down to. Best in show here. Who has the most taxes?
Tariffs are worse for bourbon, you know. But we're not thinking about that.
Well, I mean, we're not here. We don't have biases coming into this.
Nope, it's true.
We do our best to remove our biases, and
Because we love whiskey.
Exactly. Okay, 1543. 161. Okay.
Right.
Wow.
I know where my vote is.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, I don't. Hang on.
Oh, I didn't mean to rush you. Sorry.
No.
To find my Ascot Awards glass here. Here we go.
Ah, crap! I'm out of water. Excuse me, sir.
I'm looking for the, the visuals here.
And if there is a tie in this, I am giving the tiebreaker to 3 people: Susan, Tiffany, and Max. If there is a tie, you 3 will be the tiebreaker. So it's not just one person.
This is not fair. We're not in the same room, so we can't arm wrestle.
Ha!
All right.
All right. Give me 30 seconds.
30 seconds. 29. 28.
All right, I'm ready.
All right. A vote for 1543. You only get 1 vote. 1543. 1543. Then that means it's unanimous.
Damn.
Wait. Well, Susan?
Just a second.
All right. 1543. Anyone vote for 1543?
Yeah, sure. I will.
2 votes for 1543.
Yeah.
Now votes for 1613. 1613. That's 4 votes to 2. 4 votes to 2. Congratulations to 1613. Raise your glass. That is your best in show for whiskey.
Hey.
1613.
Wow.
Woo.
Cheers.
Wow.
And congratulations to Cotswolds for winning best in show for whiskey. Just saw we had a typo on that, but this is yours. This is your victory trophy. Congratulations. To my knowledge, this is the first time. This is the first time of any competition that I've been a part of that an English whiskey has won best in show. So a best in Scotch. We had a lot of great Scotches in the house. A bested Irish whiskey. For the love of God, we had Redbreast 15-year-old in the tasting tonight. I thought we had incredible showings from the bourbon. I thought the blend of straights, the Bardstown Bourbon Company Discovery Series 4, I thought that could have won the entire competition. That was really incredible. But I think, a couple of them that were really that were really swaying it for me was the 4-gate collaboration series with Kelvin. That one was, to me, that was just so amazing. I was the only judge who voted for the barrel finished whiskey. So the general whiskey category, I was the only judge that voted for that, but that was like in my top 2 or 3. So as you can see, like every judge is different. And I want to point out that if we were to have this competition a week from today or have it tomorrow, we would have completely different results. You see, as tasters, we are a product of our environment. We are a product of the mood we are in. We're a product of what we ate. And as you saw with Lou Bryson talking about the American single malt, he loved it last week when he tasted it. When he tasted it a week later, he was just like, yeah, not really doing it for me. So that it's a fascinating process. And to the point of the process, this is a new competition, and we've developed some new. We developed there's not a competition like ours. I don't ever like saying, well, we're the first to do this or we're the first to do that. I don't like that. I don't like saying stuff like that. But I do like pointing out that we developed a point system in addition to a taste-off system that I feel is the best way to determine best in show while eliminating palate fatigue. So there were products that won their respective category that you did not see here tonight because they didn't have the points that merited them to be here. You also did not see anything that was a single barrel compete for best bourbon. I do not believe in allowing single barrels to compete for best bourbon. Why is that? Well, you know what? While single barrels are great, they can be jobbed. And, there can be a honey barrel that can be pushed through here. So if we would have allowed King of Kentucky to come in here as a single barrel, it might have won the entire competition. But it's a single barrel. And that, as a competition, it was very important to us that we don't allow single barrels into the best bourbon category. So that's a little bit behind the rationale of some of the things. We have a point system, a little bit like NASCAR, and then we have a tournament style system. So as we progress, as we get out there a little bit more, and people start understanding our processes, I want this to be the competition that consumers trust, because this right here, I guarantee you, if you walk into a distillery and you see this trophy sitting on their mantle or you see it on their bar, you know that they earned it. All right. This is important to me. As a longtime critic, I want the consumer population to realize that the people who won these trophies earned it. And that's why we have such a strict criteria. Now, we did this virtually, and we are new, and we did it in the middle of a pandemic. So there were a lot of challenges, and we worked through those challenges. And I have an amazing team: Ed, Colin, Bree, the entire Dallas staff, Allison, incredible for helping me out. All the judges. We have some of the best judges in the business. And I'm talking about from Dan Dunn to Martin Kate to Peggy No Stevens to Lou Bryson to Clay Risen and to rising stars like Andrea Merriweather and Johnny Christ, who happens to be the bassist for Avenged Sevenfold. We have a lot of rising stars as well. And I really do believe in being as transparent and showing as much of this process as possible. I really want, my dream is to one day for all of this to be live. Like you all see every single part of the process from when the volunteers are bringing out spirits or when they're being poured to all of that. So that is my dream with this competition, that we are able to provide that to you as content like you would see, any kind of sporting event. That's just kind of my thought and my hopes and dreams. So I'm definitely going to stick around for a couple minutes here to answer some questions. I do have a lot more work to do. I can tell you that right now. So we have a press release that will be going out tomorrow. You all watching this live right now, you saw it before anybody else. I mean, you saw what we were tasting and all that even before some of the judges. So this is you all being here with me tonight. It's a special treat. You're part of something special, something very special. It's our very first one, and what will be many more. So if you have any questions, let me know. Alan C., thanks for holding this stream. It was great. He's got to drop out. Thank you so much, Alan. Always appreciate the support. Colin had some Cotswold a couple years back. Looks like I need to revisit. Funny thing is that bottle's only like $65. I mean, that we had whiskey in this competition 4 or 5, maybe even 10 times more expensive than that. So it's fascinating to see an English whiskey win. And let me tell you, it is absolutely fantastic, and they do distill it. Kevin Kelly, good show, Fred. Appreciate it. Gotta give it to the judges. Susan Riegler, she's been one of my longest time friends, and I think she is one of those people I don't think gets enough credit for her what she's done in bourbon. She's been writing about bourbon since the 1990s. Go check out Susan Riegler's books. Lou Bryson, who should be in every whiskey-related Hall of Fame there is. His book, Tasting Whiskey, to me, is one of the greatest ever written. He's also a mentor of mine. Lou Bryson's books are incredible. Clay Risen, who writes for the New York Times, is an editor for the New York Times, and has had multiple great whiskey books. He has a beautiful voice for whiskey. Make sure you're buying his books. My boy Max Solano, you can check out his cocktails in my book, Rum Curious. And Tiffany Barriere, she is she's one of my proudest stories in my career. 10 years ago, I'm walking through the Atlanta airport, and I see this bar connected to this restaurant called One Flew South in the Atlanta airport. I walk up there. I have some time. I see they have a really nice whiskey selection. I asked the bartender, I was like, all right, you like whiskey. Make me a good whiskey cocktail. She makes me something with rosemary, and I'm wowed. And then I wrote a story about her for a magazine called Tasting Panel, and that was the first story anyone had written on her, and it kind of helped propel her to the incredible career she's had now, to where she's a consultant now, and she's one of these people who everybody calls to get in competitions and things like that, because she's just absolutely amazing. Francesco Lanfranconi is an amazing spirits taster. You all saw that a little bit with the tequila and gin, but he's incredible all the way around. And when I sent him flavored whiskeys, when I reached out to him and I asked him to be a part of the competition, I asked him, I said, hey, what would you like to taste? He's like, oh, I'll taste anything for you, Fred. So I sent him flavored whiskey. And he's like, what did I do to piss you off? I was like, well, you said send me anything. So funny little behind the scenes story there. And of course, Dee Jones. Now, Dee has an incredible palate. She does the tasting notes for Sealbox and helps manage that incredible place. So just a big fan of everybody who came on here and did that. And of course, I've seen in the comments, people asking some questions here. Bruin asks, will any of the ASCOT winners be in the August 14th tasting? And let me see if I get this guy right here. There we go. Oh, there we go. There you go, buddy. That's a good boy. Yes, they will be. There will be one or two in the tasting, but of course it's blind, and I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm not going to tell you what it is. James says that was awesome. Thanks for doing this. Absolutely. My pleasure. I love doing this. So let's see what else we have here. Matt from ADHD Whiskey's in the house. Now, I've had a lot of people bring him up and wanting to be have him on as a taster. I think that's a pretty good idea. I think I'll be extending the invitation for Matt to be a judge next year. He'll have to spit though. I mean, because I don't want him passing out on my watch. So I don't know if he'll accept those terms for spitting. But I think the world of Matt. I think he'd be a great addition as a taster. So if he'll accept the invitation, I'd love to have him as a taster. But on that note, I'm going to go ahead and start moving forward to letting everybody know that they just won and all of the stuff going on, because we got a lot to announce. We got a lot to announce here in the next couple days. And then also tomorrow, my podcast with E40 drops. And I am super ecstatic about that because he talks about Tupac, my favorite all-time rapper. But everybody, I just thank you all so much for tuning in. And I can't believe nobody gave me shit for having ASCOT or having vodka in the ASCOTs. I can't believe anybody. So I'm very disappointed in everybody in the chat for not making fun of me for having vodka on my YouTube channel. You guys I can't believe it. I was in the chat the whole time. There was one comment about vodka. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. But on that note, I love you guys. Thank you all so much. You know how important you all are to me. You all saved me this past year, and this competition is one of the best things that I have done for my career. Thank you so much to my partner in this, Ed, and that entire team in Dallas. I couldn't ask for a better crew to work with, and I just want to say cheers to the entire ASCOT team and to all those watching at home who now have a leg up on everybody else to get that sweet whiskey out there. I will say two takeaways from this for me. Legends is a bourbon that everybody should be seeking right now. So Legends is one bourbon that won Best Wheated Bourbon. I think we all know Stag Junior winning is probably not going to be a shocker to anybody. And by the way, it's absolutely incredible. That was incredible. But that English whiskey, Cotswolds, winning, I can't reiterate how big of a deal that is for an English whiskey to win this competition. So I appreciate you all. Be safe out there. Remember, no licking handrails, no licking trash cans. And even though it's in the competition, vodka still sucks unless it's being used for hand sanitizer. Cheers, everybody.